topic we are going to discuss today is nutrition in plants. Before knowing more about this topic, we should know certain basic things about plants. Plants are autotrophic in nature. Now, what do you mean by autotrophic? The word auto means self, and trophic means nourishment or food. So, the organisms which can prepare their own food are called autotrophic. The second point is, as they are able to produce their own food, plants are called producers because they synthesize their own food. So, now we know that plants are autotrophic in nature and they prepare their own food, and plants are also called producers. But the thing that we need to know now is, how do they do this? What is the process? So, the process, plants do this by a simple process called photosynthesis. The word photo is generally used in biology for light, and synthesis, as we all know, is making. So, simply from the word itself we can know photosynthesis is making something in presence of light, and making food in the presence of light is thus called photosynthesis. Now let's see what are the requirements and what things plants use for doing this. The first things that plants require is sunlight. Okay. Okay, this is the first thing, that is sunlight. The second things which the plants require for this purpose is chlorophyll. And where is it present? Chlorophyll is a green pigment in the leaves which has the capacity to capture solar energy. The third requirement by the plants for completing this process is carbon dioxide, which is already present in the atmosphere. And the fourth requirement by plants is water, that is H2O. So, by using sunlight, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide and water, plants prepare their own food, and it is called photosynthesis. If we want to just write a definition, we can say the process by which green plants utilize sunlight and CO2 and prepare their food with the help of chlorophyll is called photosynthesis. Okay. If we want to write it in the form of an equation, we can write it like this: 6 molecules of CO2 plus 12 molecules of H2O in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, of course, form C6H12O6, that is simple glucose, plus 6O2, which is liberated, plus 6H2O. So this equation represents photosynthesis, and as we can see from this, the basic requirements are sunlight and chlorophyll. Now let's talk a little more in details about the things which are required for plants to complete this process. The first thing is sunlight. Plants use the light in the visible region of solar spectra, the electromagnetic spectrum, which comes under the range of 390 nanometer to 780 nanometer. This is the visible range of the electromagnetic spectrum, which comes in the range of 390 nanometer to 780 nanometer. Here is the infrared region, and this will be the UV region. And as we all know, visible light consists of 7 different colors, that is violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. So these are the 7 colors which lie in the visible range, and maximum photosynthesis occurs in the red region. Red region. There is photosynthesis in the blue region, but minimum photosynthesis occurs in the green region, because most of the green light is reflected by the green plants. So there are chances of very less photosynthesis to occur. The next thing which we require for the process of photosynthesis to occur is chlorophyll. What is this chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is a green colored pigment which is present in green plants, and it is able to trap solar energy, which is solar energy, and use it for the process of photosynthesis to occur. Chlorophyll can be of many types. That is chlorophyll, chlorophyll A, B, C, D, E, and bacteriochlorophyll, which is present in some autotrophic bacteria. The most common are these two, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. Besides chlorophyll, there are certain other pigments also present in plants. They may be like carotenes, which are orange in color. The example of this can be carrot. Carrot contains carotene. The second is xanthophyll, and xanthophyll is orange yellow in color. Orange yellow in color, and example of this can be maize. As we all know, maize contains this pigment. The third, phycobilin, which are all of different colors. Different colors which we see in plants, they are due to these pigments like red, violet, etc. So now we have seen the basic requirements for the process of photosynthesis. Let us talk now about the raw materials which are required for the process to occur. They are CO2, carbon dioxide. How do plants acquire this carbon dioxide? They take it up from the atmosphere and by small openings which are called stomata. They are small pore-like structures on the surface of the leaves, and if we want to see them diagrammatically, they are somewhat like these. These are the guard cells, and this pore is the stomatal opening. The guard cells also contain a nucleus. When the stomata remain closed, it gives kind of pore. This is the closed pore. These stomata help the plants for the exchange of gases and water. They are guarded by presence of guard cells, and aquatic plants obtain CO2 dissolved in water through the general body surface, so they perform more photosynthesis than terrestrial plants. Now, the second requirement for the process of photosynthesis to occur, that is water, that is H2O. Water. Now plants take up this water with the help of their roots. Water is transported to the leaves by a special tissue called xylem. The point at which the amount of CO2 used during photosynthesis becomes equal to CO2 released during respiration is called the compensation point. So now we know certain things about photosynthesis. Now let us talk about where this photosynthesis takes place, that is the site for photosynthesis. Let us now talk about the site for photosynthesis. Where does photosynthesis occur? Mostly it takes place in the leaves, green leaves, small amount takes place in green stems and twigs. Some photosynthesis occurs in the aerial parts as well. Internally, the leaf contains various tissues. Mesophyll is the most important tissue. Most photosynthesis occurs in these tissues. The site for photosynthesis is different in prokaryotes and eukaryotes. In prokaryotes, that is, in organisms which do not have a well-defined nucleus, photosynthesis occurs in lamellar chromatophores. It does not occur in the chloroplast because they do not contain chloroplasts like the eukaryote. In green plants, or we can say eukaryotes, photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast. It is an organelle which is responsible for occurrence of photosynthesis. There is one exception to this also. Fungi, which are also eukaryotes, lack chlorophyll, so they do not photosynthesize, and so generally they are heterotrophic in nature, that is, they depend on others for their nourishment. In higher plants, chloroplast is the main site of photosynthesis, as we just talked about. Chloroplast is also called the green plastid. Plastids can be of three different types depending on the pigment they contain. First is leucoplast. They are white in color, found in the underground parts of the plant, and are useful in storage. They help in storage of protein. If they are helpful in the storage of protein, they are called aleuroplasts. If they are helpful in the storage of oil, they are called aleoplasts. And if they are helpful in the storage of carbohydrates or starch, they are called amyloplasts. The second type of plastid, depending on the pigment they contain, is the chromoplasts. Chromoplasts contain colors other than green and found in the aerial parts of the plant. The colors other than green contain chromoplasts and are present in the aerial parts of the plant. The third type, and the most important of all, is the chloroplasts, and they are green in color. Most of the photosynthesis occurs in this. They contain the green colored pigment chlorophyll. Chloroplasts is a place where photosynthesis takes place, and so we should know a little more about this because we are talking about photosynthesis. So chloroplast was discovered by Schimper. Number of chloroplasts is variable in different species. Number variable in different species. Chloroplasts also have variable shapes. For example, cup shape, ribbon shaped, etc. in algae. Discoidal in higher plants. Now if we want to see what is the shape of the chloroplast or how we can represent it diagrammatically, we can show it like that. The chloroplast contains two membranes. It is a double membranous structure. It has the inner membrane and the outer membrane. This is the outer membrane and this is the inner membrane. Internally, it contains stacks of lamellae which are placed one over another, and each of them can be individually called the thylakoids. These stacks of lamellae or thylakoids are internally interconnected with other stacks of lamellae. These thylakoids collectively can be called the grana. This is the grana. They can be about 40 to 60%, and the number of thylakoids per grana is 50 or more. Chlorophyll molecules are found inside the thylakoid membrane, where they trap solar energy in the form of small energy packets called photons. The grana are interconnected by lamellae, which are called the Fred's channels. The portion which is left behind or in which grana are embedded is called the stroma. The stroma is the site for the dark reaction, and the grana is the site for the light reaction which takes place in the photosynthesis. Inside the stroma there are various substances like the ribosomes, a loop of DNA, and as the chloroplasts contain their own DNA and ribosomes, they can synthesize some of their enzymes themselves. So they are called semi-autonomous organelles. There may be other substances like the lipid globules, and a little bit of starch grain. So this is the structure of the chloroplast.